Hello. Just want to return briefly to a subject that I, spoken about and perhaps a bit too much on, is sickles. And a lot of people ask me, are this type of sickle any good compared to this, which is made out of wrought iron, and this is made out of steel? And so what I done, I knew I'd got one of these sickles. I haven't used it for years, and it's been in the workshop here. So I've dug it out and I've given it a good sharpening, and I haven't wasted energy on it. I've sort of made a good job of it. And what I want to do, and I've done the same with this one, give it a touch up as well, is tomorrow I'll be somewhere where there's a little bit of grass, lawn grass, and this is what they're supposed to do is a grass sickle for lawns. On that where I'm going, it just wants to be going over with the sickle before it's mowed with the lawnmower. So what I'll do, I'll take that with me, and I'll see some idea of how it compares with an orthodox sickle. This is made out of steel. That's steel. And it goes rusty, and so I know it's made out of steel, and I can tell by the hardness of it. It's harder metal than wrought iron, and that's it. And so we'll see how it goes, and I'll have a comparison. And this is the other sickle I've got now, but this is too big for grass. I've been using it for docks and nettles and brambles and gorse and things like that, which is very good for, actually. It's a very good sickle. So that's it. So we'll see what happens, and I'll let you know. Another thing just to say is that years ago my father happened to say to me, I see you bought a sickle, it's a left-handed sickle, and I thought, oh, that's it. And anyway, he did comment further. He said, anyway, he said, it doesn't make a great deal of difference whether you hold it with your left or right hand. But it's only got bevel, obviously, on the one side. And I always thought that the bevel should have been upwards because of what he mentioned. But as he said, it didn't make a great deal of difference anyway. But I'm of the opinion now that when I see sickles for sale online or in a used tool shop or whatever, then the vast majority of them have got the bevel this way up. And I'm of the opinion that the people who use their left hand, I'm left-handed, are in the minority. So why is there such a lot of sickles that look to be left-handed? So I'm of the assumption that that is a right-handed sickle, and the bevel should be downwards. But as I said, what my father said years ago was, it doesn't make a great deal of difference. And he's true, because I've tried it both ways, and I find it that way. And, so I'm not too bothered, but it's probably that the correct way for a right hand is to have the bevel down. And I might be proved wrong again in the future. So that's it. So, and while we're on the subject of steel and wrought iron, this is wrought iron. See, it doesn't rust very easily. It will take up a bit of rust over the years, and this was out for years, and I brought it back, whereas steel would have probably rusted away. This just wanted bringing up, and I brought it back to the steel, and also brought the edge back, and it's as good as new. So that's it. Whereas this will probably have to be painted in order to protect it, whereas these don't be painted. And where the forging has been left and not ground, then that does last for, pretty well indefinitely. And even where that has been removed, then it still is resistant to rust. And another thing, now I'm here, what I was going to say is this shears, for shearing sheep, that's made out of wrought iron. You can tell by the look, it hasn't been painted, and therefore it's been protected by the fact that it was in the forge, and it was wrought. Wrought iron means worked iron, and it's not quite steel and it's not quite iron, it's wrought iron, and that's it. And as it happens, in the garden shed is another pair of shears, and this is it, Wilkinson sword, and this is quite old. It was bought, I think, or come into the family about 1960s, 70s, so it must have been bought about then, and that's been painted in order to protect it, you see, so that's an indication that it's steel, and also the fact that it's got rivets on it. It could be a job to make that out of one sheet of steel, so what they do, they make the handle partly in a press, etc., and then they make these, stamp them out, and then grind them or whatever. And then what they do is they rivet the blades, I call them blades, rivet the blades on. Whereas with this tool, many years earlier, but just get that off, you can see that that they didn't have the machinery, etc., that we have, to make that in that manner. So this was forged probably in a forge, a local industry, about 6 or 7 blacksmiths working together and making a living at it, and they've even got their mark on it. And but what I want to point out, that forged steel, or forged iron, is it? Wrought iron. It will wrought, and it can also weld. It weld to itself, and it weld to steel actually. Although these are the blades are wrought iron as well, was the fact that it hasn't got rivets like the other one. You see, it hasn't got rivets. They just had what they'd had, and what they've done is they've heated this up and probably warmed that quite hot, and then they've heated that to a red heat, and then they've hammered it, and it must be quite a tricky job, because if you hit it too hard, you'll probably not be successful, and if you hammer it too soft, then it won't take. So that's what they've done, and that's forge welded. It looks though it's been welded, but actually it's forge welded. And when they say forge welded, they mean that it's been welded. They've welded the two pieces of metal together by heat, by heating it in the forge, and then bringing it out, and then tapping just at the right weight and the right frequency, and finishing it off at the right time. And that's a very strong forge welded job. Anyway, that's something that I just point out to you, and then probably I'll see how these sickles go, and I'll let you know of what the result is, and I'll leave it at that. So I'll put something on in the next day or so. Okay, bye for now.